Hey everyone, welcome back to the High Five a Day podcast. Excited for today's episode. This one kind of came out of the blue, but we're excited to talk to Jesse Forte here. He's an astronaut in training, author, speaker, hip hop artist, boxer. I think where we're going to have to start in this interview is if there's anything he doesn't do and go from there. But Jesse, welcome to the podcast.
You for having me, Nathan. Shout out to Threads for connecting us. How's your day going so far?
It's going great. I personally just got back from traveling. Gone for work this week, so been driving all morning and pulled in and ready to go. So, how about yourself?
Is it snowing up there?
Not yet. It is in other parts of Idaho. There's a little bit of snow up on the passes, but so far so good. Still clean.
What's up? That's what's up. Nah, man, I just finished training. I got a fight coming up next week, an influencer boxing fight. So I've been training at, I'd say, the best gym in LA. Under Freddie Roach, who was, Manny Pacquiao's coach, Fred Mosley. I mean, you name the top boxers in Legends history, Freddie's coached them, right?
It's crazy.
So with that, the best talent around the world comes. You got guys from like Dagestan and Russia and Mexico, the best boxers here in the U.S. Um, Mario Lopez popped up today. I'm like, what's up, Mario? Like, it's just dope, bro. It's the best of the best.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I know you've only been in boxing, if I'm not mistaken, for about a year and a half, coming up on 2 years. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. So, been taking it seriously for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then how do you go about finding a gym in boxing that you're going to train at, that you're going to, dive into the culture there?
Yeah, man. I mean, the only way to find a gym is to just go out there and try it, right? You can look at a bunch of reviews, on Google, but you're not going to know until you walk in there, until you get a feel for it, until you get punched in the face a couple times. You're like, this is my place. Like, finding a gym, man, is really important, but finding a coach is sometimes as important. Um, right now, I'm training with this guy who was a former world champion, um, ranked number one in the world, and he's just like this older African American gentleman who's like, he knows his stuff, bro. He knows
Yeah.
the sweet science, and so just honored to be under his wing, and then just learning and taking in the tips and just getting better.
That's super cool. Super cool. And with that, do you plan on taking that like a big professional boxing career on the world stage, or just kind of as a fitness thing, just having fun with it? What's kind of your plan? There's still figuring it out.
I'm still figuring it out right now. I got an influencer fight next week. I don't know who I'm fighting, but I'm getting myself prepared for the fight. Getting myself mentally, spiritually, and emotionally aware for what's about to happen.
Yeah.
You got to understand when you go in the ring, the guy that's going against you wants to kill you.
Yeah.
He wants to put a hole in your brain. And I can't have that happen. So the only way to do that is to bob weave and put a hole in his head before, right? So like that's my mentality, bro. Like I'm going for blood.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense with the other things that you're doing. You know, astronaut and training. I'm sure like on a legitimate level, you can't take any hard hits out there.
Yeah, man. That's another thing. Being safe, wearing your headgear. Being alert, seeing where the punches are coming from, looking at your opponent. These are all very important aspects to fighting. And it goes hand in hand with the astronaut training and analog astronaut missions, like or just in general, man. Like you want to have all your brain cells for what you do.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, I would imagine that the physical training aspect of boxing, the mental training aspect of it, and just the reactive and being able to you know direct yourself in tough situations. Has that, do you feel like, really transferred over into the things that you're doing as an astronaut?
Nathan, I think that's a great transition. So boxing has helped me lose weight. It's helped me become more confident. It's given me a passion outside of music and space and technology that I can pursue.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm extremely grateful for because boxing, outside, I played D1 football. I played sports my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm 31 right now. Boxing is like that. I have a real love for the sport, man. And I just meet the coolest people, training, performing, just going in there and fighting. I meet guys that are way better than me, and I meet guys that I support and train. So it's like a family, man.
Yeah.
And how it translates over for, you know, space trainings. Like I said, when you feel good, when you're emotionally, mentally, physically up,
Hmm.
you're in peak shape, like everything else falls into place,
Right.
So just taking care of your body, doing the extra work, and just showing up every day is what's helping me.
No, for sure, for sure. And I guess kind of just basic question, but how did you even get into, you know, the aerospace industry, get into, going from there, to training as an astronaut? Those are few and far between the people that get it and do that stuff.
Right. And for so long, it's only been a small group of people.
Yeah.
And no disrespect, Nathan, but the only people that I used to see going up to space were like old white men.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And so for myself to be in a position to train for these type of experiences, and then also to be someone where younger kids can look and be like, whoa, like somebody that looks like me is going to space, it gives
Yeah.
them an opportunity to believe that, there are no limits to what and who they can be. And so this whole mission to space isn't just about me going to space and, exploring and, working on moon bases, but it's to inspire the next group of inventors, astronauts, artists, boxers, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
whoever gets to see this, just inspire them to do and be and go where they want. And not just young black kids and black girls, dude, but like young white kids, young white girls, like young Asian kids, young Indian kids. Like I went and spoke at a school in Atlanta, Georgia, like close to Athens, Georgia,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I spoke to a group of students, and I read this book that had just been made about me, um, and um, and a young genius who named Lazarus, who was born in Uboku, which is like this water city in Africa, and then he travels to the United States, and then he meets me, this
Hmm.
astronaut, and and when I finished reading that book to the kids, this little white kid, he was like 7 or 8, man. He's just like just country, and he goes, I like I like that what you're doing. And I said, thanks, man. I appreciate that. He said, you know what? I'm gonna give you something. Can you take it to space for me? I said, if it's something small, I'm gonna do my best. He said, it's special to me. It's my favorite. And he goes in his pocket and he grabs a fidget spinner, a Batman fidget spinner, and he goes, this one's all oiled up. It's my best one. You can have it. Take it to space, bro. I almost burst into tears, dog. I almost burst into tears, and this was like a year ago. But like stuff like that, where you're impacting kids, you're impacting people. They want to be a part of the experience. Like, dude, that's what this is all about. That's what this whole experience is about. Bringing people with us on the journey.
Yeah. No, 100%. I love that. That's a phenomenal experience and something I'm sure you'll treasure for forever. And
Yeah,
I love
bringing
that
that
story.
fidget spinner to space, man. We're gonna let it go. She's gonna be like, yeah,
That'll be awesome. That one's going down in the history books once it's up there, for sure.
absolutely.
Oh, I love that. And I mean, I'm not sure how much you know about what my podcast is all about, but that's a big thing for it. Just the little intentional acts that we do to inspire people, whether or not we hear the after story. Like those small events, those little conversations, or the big impacts that you've probably had in people's lives that you have absolutely no idea about, and maybe you won't ever, maybe 5 years down the road, something like that. Someone will come up to you and be like, "Hey, like you changed my life that day," type deal. So super phenomenal.
Dude, absolutely, man. And sometimes you wanna get the flowers before you die. Like I know a
Yeah.
lot of times like you pass away and then everyone has these great stories to tell. Like I get to live through, you know, the journey and people, coming up and confident. And then also, there's been so many countless people who have done things to change my life that
Yeah.
are currently doing things to change my life. Like it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, Nathan. We keep
Yeah.
going. We keep
Keep
going,
going.
Nathan.
No, for sure, 100%. I think um, for me, I mean, outside of this, I've been in just kind of the entrepreneurship world for the past couple of years as I'm finishing up college right now, and just finding your spot and finding the way that you want to do things for people. I think it's the greatest disservice when you don't do things in such a way that, like you say, inspires people, that you can do things to impact people, whether it's big or small. I think it's super important.
Dude, that's the most important thing right there because impact over a period of time creates those iconic moments, right?
Yeah.
But you have to use it as building blocks, right?
Hmm.
It's just taking steps in front of you. It's like Pac-Man. You just nibble, 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 big nibble, 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 big nibble. Like it's gonna come to you. And I didn't share this with you, but I ran a podcast for like 3.5 years, like a couple
Hmm.
hundred episodes, and it was just to connect with people and share stories, like
Yeah.
you're doing. And who would have thought, dude? I didn't think in 2017 when I started the podcast that I'd be where I am today, bro.
Right.
Like I did not. I just wanted to connect with cool people and like share their story, and then just build relationships, right? And
100%.
so like right now, like now we're in contact, like we're a connection, right? So
Yeah.
you ever have questions with space, or you coming out to LA, or you have, you're trying to figure out what's next in college, man, like use me as a resource, like connect with me. If there's people that want to connect with, let me know. That's
Yeah.
how this world works.
Yeah, I think that illustrates like a great point. Sometimes we have, this fear of like we want to reach people, we want to reach places, and we don't know how to get there. But like if we don't ask around the people in our circle, we might not realize that our reach is so far beyond what we initially think. Just like the people that we know, and then as we continue to expand that, it takes us so much further if we just have the willingness and the courage, to ask that first question.
6 degrees of separation, man, from anyone in the world.
Yeah,
How crazy is that, bro?
absolutely wild,
Bingo.
absolutely wild. I remember I lived in El Salvador a couple of years ago, so down in Central America. I lived there for about a year, and um, some of the guys I was down there with, we were in different towns, but we'd meet together every so often. But they were they worked pretty off the lady that ran like all of the public relations for the president of the country.
Oh,
Like
wow.
2 steps away. Like if we'd probably tried, we probably could have done something to like get on a phone call or something and met the president of El Salvador, which at the time
Yeah.
he's a big guy right now. He's kind of big in the public space, but it's a crazy thing, just like you said.
Yeah, man. And like you said earlier, like don't be afraid to go out and just introduce yourself. Like I think a lot of times we think because of status or blue check or like, this person's following or this or that, like that you're not allowed to, or they're not looking at their phone like other human beings. And it's not the truth, man. Like I can't tell you how many times I've ran into people who have 5 million, 10 million followers, 1 million followers, and they're people just like you and me.
Yeah,
And some of them are actually like just as lonely as somebody with 50 followers, right?
no,
They're like, dude,
100%.
having a bunch of followers doesn't mean anything, man. It's about the human being. I've been in the trenches for so long that like it doesn't matter like where I go, I'm always gonna be the person like, oh, I can do it. Let's connect because it's just in my nature, bro. Like I just been in the mud for so long, bro. Like I've been a little fish in a big pond for so long. Like I'm gonna go and reach out myself. Like I don't
Yeah,
I don't need anybody to do that for me, you know.
yeah, no, 100%.
So got to have that mentality, especially not just definitely in the beginning, but the goal is to have that for your life, man. Like to continuously reach out, to continuously grow, to look, to educate yourself, to research, to go the extra mile.
Yeah,
It's a long game, bro.
for sure. No, 100%. I think just like just kind of hearing seeing your story in the short time that we've been able to connect. I really love all the different passions that you have and the energy that you have for them. But then even more than that is that you've taken all of them to become a high performer at a big level, producer in each of them. And so kind of coming back to that, I just kind of want to know for you how like all the different things that you do kind of interconnect and what kind of drives you towards each of them.
Man, that's a great question that I'm still trying to figure out. I don't
Yeah.
think I could. I know they all help each other,
Hmm.
but you have to live life and like do the things that you love. And I'm just a dude that's just doing things that I enjoy. Like I love making music. I love performing. I love boxing. I love training. I love competing. I love, training for missions and preparing myself to go to space. And, like, dude, who doesn't love these things?
Definitely.
Right? So I love all these things, and I've been blessed to work on them for a period of time. And, sometimes they're better than others. There's moments in my life where it's a roller coaster. There's ups and there's downs. I've recently been going through downs in life.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't just been like this, like, perfect la di da di day di da di do. It's been soul crushing.
Yeah.
But it's like it's through those soul crushes that you realize that I I still really want to do this. Like, even if I have nothing in my bank account, even if I'm broke, even if I lost my job, even if what I'm saying, like, I broke up with my chick, like, I still love this stuff, and I want to keep doing it regardless of
Yeah.
these exterior things that are affecting my mood, right? In fact, I'm going to plug in so deeply on these things because now I have even more time to focus on what I love. So, like, that's just been my mindset. Picking the things that I love,
Yeah.
doing those. Like, the next big thing, bro, and I think this thing is going to fucking take me to, like, superstar status, but dancing, bro. I can dance, but I'm talking about, like, on some Jabberwocky stuff, like some B-boy type shit. No, no, seriously, like, I have homies that are, like, fucking, like, some of the greatest, like, B-boys in the world, and they
Okay.
perform, like, with me during my concerts and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Bro, when I learn how to fucking spin on my head and pop and lock and, like, do that Bruno Mars type shit, it's a wrap, bro. I'm challenging Chris Brown, Chris Breezy. I'm talking to you, bro. I'm challenging Chris Breezy to a dance off, winner takes all. And I don't have shit, so I'm just gonna take yo stuff, Chris Breezy.
I love that.
But yeah, so it's just, dude, and I know that sometimes everyone hears this on these fucking podcasts. They're like, find the thing that you're passionate about, and it's like, the fuck does that mean? You know? Um, it takes time, bro. It
It
takes
does take time.
time, and and your goal is to experiment, man. Is to go out of your comfort zone, is to try different things and be like, okay, I fuck with this, I like this, I don't like this. I'm gonna do more of this,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
keep building that way.
Yeah. I think it's super important too. Like, when you're kind of in those moments trying to figure that out, like, don't just, fill your time to the brim that, like, you don't have time to analyze stuff. Like, it's okay to, like, sit for an hour and, like, think over how things are going. Obviously, you can't get stuck in the inaction, but just build yourself a way that you're always making good decisions, whether things are going good or things are going bad. You always have a way to analyze things and make good decisions. Like, yep, this is what I love. I'm gonna drive it. I'm not enjoying this part of life, so how can I adjust?
Yeah, and then also with that part, sometimes with the adjusting the parts that you don't like in life, we don't have the choice on deciding how long that period is,
Yeah.
right? And that kind of sucks, right? But what we can do is embrace, like, what's tough and continue to work on the things that we can work on. Sometimes, like, say you lose a job and you don't have the money to do the things that you wanted to do or at that high level, right? Well,
Right.
plan for the time that when you get back to that mode, that you can go beast mode, right?
Yeah.
Like, get your mind prepared, get your physical prepared, like do the things necessary that you can with what you have. And that's the most important thing. It's just being adaptable, um, being curious for life, and then just attacking.
No, I love that. I love that. Go back to the analogy you used earlier. I love that, the Pac-Man analogy. Just one little bite at a time. I
Nibble,
think that's
nibble, nibble,
perfect. Nibble,
nibble.
nibble. I love that. It's so
That's
good.
what we need to call this podcast, is nibble, nibble, attack, or something like that. And then just
I'll
have,
do
like, a
it.
big Pac-Man. Yeah. Make me a
That's
Pac-Man like this, like.
to break out some new levels of editing skills. See what I can do.
Right.
That's super. That's good stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so as you kind of moved into being an astronaut, what industry were you working in, or like have you had like a normal job, kind of building up into all of these things like a normal career, like most people are?
So I just did, like, a product roadmap of, or like a timeline of my work from the ages of 16 to 31.
Okay.
My first job in high school was at IHOP. I was a server. I was the best fucking server. Bro, I served so hard. No diddy.
Have you ever seen that video? it's like in a movie theater and the kid with the popcorn bucket and he's just like absurdly good. Like he's like buttering it and dishing the popcorn and he's like it's like a show to watch. And so as you're saying that, that's the image that's coming in my head. So you behind the just
Gosh.
flipping pancakes and just like
Yeah.
just dishing it.
Yeah. I don't know why my mind went to like another popcorn video. It's the one where the dude's like got the popcorn on his lap and the girl's like, he's like, "You want some popcorn?" She's like, "Yeah." And she reaches it. That's a whole other story. But nah, dude. So so yeah, man. I loved communicating with people. I love just meeting new people. A lot of cute girls used to come in, with their families and stuff, and I'd make my tips and stuff like that. And it was my first job, making some extra cash, bro. Paid for my prom. But from there, I think it's either 32 or 33 different jobs up until
Oh
then,
wow.
right? So you think about like back in the 70s or 80s, like, you probably work at your mom, and this is just generally speaking.
Yeah.
You work at your ma or your pa's shop or whatever. You work at the, you deliver pizzas, and then you go to college, and then you get a job, and you work that job for 5, 10 years, and then you work another job, and then you become a senior, right? Fuck no, that's not mine, and I don't think that's a lot of millennials, bro. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I went from fucking IHOP to playing football at New Mexico State, and I consider that a job because we fucking grind, bro. And
Yeah.
then from there, I worked at Cutco. I sold knives, to pay for my spring break. Like, and then from there, like, I worked overseas as a news broadcaster for Ecuador for the World
Okay.
Cup. And these are all in college, so these are like internships and jobs. And then
Yeah.
then I worked for Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher,
Okay.
working inside of his school system, and then also going on tour with him, to see, all the different, speaking events with like Inky Johnson and all these different people. And then I taught English and Spanish in like West Africa and like South America.
Oh shoot.
Uh, and then from there, like, did my master's program, and then worked at Apple, worked at, Kubra and all these different companies. Then I started working in tech.
Okay.
And then from there, that's when I really started to build myself up in the tech realm. So I wouldn't even say if you're lucky to just have a couple jobs, great, because I don't think that allows you to really see the world and
Yeah.
do what I've been able to do. And even though I had to go through 31 different positions from the age of 16 till now, bro, I'm well cured, like I'm well rounded, I'm an oiled engine, like I'm ready to go.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I'm ready to go. Like it doesn't matter what it is, bro. I ran for mayor 2 years ago. The
Oh,
mayor of
seeing that.
LA, bro.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah, bro. I'm like, I'm your mayor. Let me build the city up again. Like I don't care what it is, bro. I can do it. I
Well, I mean,
believe.
that's just so fearless. Like, who at a relatively young age for a public office to be like with full confidence going in there and like I'm your guy. Like, I just love that energy.
I didn't even eat. I was like 29 years old, bro. I didn't even hit 30 yet, bro. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna run for mayor of LA. Like, no deal. My friends are like, don't you want to run for like the city of San Pedro first? I'm like, nah, fuck that. Like, we just gotta go big or go home, bro. Like, why are we even here, bro? Like,
And we're gonna
hold my
see.
beer.
We're
Hold
gonna
my
see.
beer real quick.
I mean, with that level, with that mindset, that attack level, like we're gonna see in the Oval Office here soon, man. Like,
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I feel like Trump would got a lot of like he'd be like, I like this guy's chops. He'd be like, bring him in.
I can
Like,
see
I
it.
don't know.
I can see it.
But yeah, man, just don't be afraid to go out there. And there's gonna be plenty of people that tell you like, you know, are you sure? And the real reason why they're saying that is they're astral projecting. It's
Yeah.
actually them that are afraid of like either you becoming this crazy person or them actually pretending to be or trying to be or even stepping in their shoes,
Yeah.
right? And so it's not like they're trying to attack you. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't, but a lot of it is just it's just them, and you can't let them hurt you.
I
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely seen that a lot. Um, coming out of college, I've done a lot of just the random stuff people do in college. When you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you do all those little things and you learn a lot. But then like you get all the people all of a sudden they're like, oh, you don't want to do that. Like, like, oh, you're crazy. And it's just like then you start questioning yourself. I love what you're saying. You got to have that, full confidence in yourself and that power of belief. It's so true.
Yeah. And then a year from now, when they see what you've built, they're gonna be like, bro,
Yeah.
dude, Nathan, man, dude, it's crazy, bro. Like you're totally growing up, man. Like, bro, I've been watching, bro. Like, dude, I knew you were gonna win, bro. I just knew it, bro. Like I saw it. I saw your energy, man. The confidence, bro, it was there. Like they're all gonna hype you up like that, and you're gonna be
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up. Like, where the fuck was you when we was in the fucking when we was grinding, bro? When we
Yeah.
was
When
in
you're
the
in the trenches.
trenches.
Yeah.
When we had one listener and it was me, you know?
I
And then we
saw
got two listeners and that was my mom.
I saw a
You
post
know?
today. Someone was like, it's like all the people that are watching you but not saying anything, they're not your friends. It's like the people that are watching and like talking to you about it, they want to hear about it. Like those are the ones that really care. You'll probably hear from the other people eventually if you get somewhere, but
Absolutely.
you know who your day ones are.
You know who they are, bro. And I keep a list of them, bro. Keep a list of them and just remember. Just
Yeah,
remember.
oh, for sure.
Like, you get to live. You watched. You know? Like,
Yeah, I think the interesting thing too is like they always seem to be people that they're doing the same things. I mean, not like the same things, but they're fighting the same battles more or less. And so
yeah.
that's why they see you, you see them. It's
Yeah,
really
bro.
cool.
It's frequency, man. It's energy.
Yeah,
It's like there's a group of us out here who are just like we're going for it.
yeah,
We're out
100%.
in the middle of the ocean and we're just you know fucking floating, man. We're just I'm not going down. I'm not going down. And
Yeah,
then there's just some people that are just like just gotta fucking swim. Stay
yeah,
up, bro. Keep
oh, for
grinding.
sure. Kind of backtracking a little bit. You said you were teaching Spanish. You worked in Ecuador as a broadcaster. Do you speak Spanish then?
I do.
Nice. What uh, what would you say like? Where does your accent come from? Stem from?
My accent.
Like
I don't
what country do you think you kind of pull from most?
try America. Like actually, I mean, I've studied Spanish and spoke Spanish in Ecuador and Mexico and Spain and Puerto
Mhm.
Rico, and Portugal. So like I understand the different dialects and acentos,
Yeah.
and the different, speech, rhythms and things of that nature.
Hmm.
Um, and really like I try to just copy wherever I'm at. Like if I'm in
No, yeah.
Spain, except Spain. Spain has like a list. They're like, "Hola, cómo estás?" And I just think that's kind of fruity, so I don't try to do that. But like when I go to Mexico or like when I'm like with my like Latino friends from Mexico, like
Yeah.
I try to speak. I'm not trying to copy them, but I just try to speak that way with them,
Yeah, yeah, no,
right?
for
And when
sure.
I'm in Puerto Rico, I'm like matango, habichuelito, pollito, diablo, you know. So it just depends where I'm at.
Puerto Rican Spanish is hard. I
It's
I
fucking
speak Spanish.
fast too, bro.
It's
I'm
so
like, what are you
fast.
guys saying?
It's so fast.
Yeah.
So I speak Spanish. Learned definitely got really good at it in El Salvador. But before that, I was living in Maryland, and right on the edge of Pennsylvania, in York, Pennsylvania. And there's a bunch of Dominicans and Puerto Ricans out there, and so that's kind of where I started, kind of picking it up and really practicing. And man, it was such a stark difference to go and you hear all those people and Dominicans that never finish a word, and you're just like, can never
Yeah.
figure it out. But
Never. Yeah. It takes a minute. Takes a
it
minute.
does. It does. But I love being able to have that and connect with people in that way. I grew up in a small town in Washington State in a farming community, so we had a lot of migrant workers that would come, a lot of permanent residents that were there. So like I went to high school with all these kids. They were like 70% of our high school. They were my friends and my peers, and because there was the language barrier, because a lot of their parents didn't speak English, like they just worked the farm jobs and they didn't get to advance themselves if they hadn't spoken English. And so growing up in that, I had a false understanding that like they just were less capable. That's kind of how I just looked at things subconsciously. No one had ever taught me that or told me that, but it's just because they didn't have the same capabilities strictly because they couldn't speak
They don't have
English.
the same resources,
Yeah, they didn't have the same
you know?
resources. And so
Yeah.
when I learned Spanish and I came back home and I got to meet those people again. It was just like to see that, like, there's first thing, just to be able to shed that belief and be like, these people are just as good, if not better, across the board. And they're just, when you get to understand people again, like on that level, it's such a cool experience to like break down those barriers, build that connection, and that's what being a human's all about.
Absolutely, man. And I think it's important that we all get an opportunity to travel. You get to see, man. It doesn't matter where we are. Like, we're not so much different than
Yeah.
each other, right? Like the same things that we're doing in Spokane, Washington, we're doing in El Salvador.
Yeah.
Same things we're doing in El Salvador, we're doing in Spain. Um, people love their families. They want to make a living. They want to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And like you said, man, being able to learn somebody's language and then connect with them, like, think about it, bro. Like, these people are trying to learn our language and come help us out,
Yeah.
you know? So it's life.
It's life. Yeah. I mean, just taking the time to listen and understand people, and having conversations like these, being willing to connect with people that you maybe wouldn't all the time or otherwise. It's just, I think that's really what builds community. That's what builds, culture and growth and unity, and that's just what drives progress.
It does, man. Go ahead and get yourself a Puerto Rican girlfriend too, bro. You'll like that.
Well,
Or a
I
good
don't think my
man.
wife would love that, but
Just kidding. Just kidding. Didn't know he was married.
all good. No, you're good.
Cool, man. Do you have any more questions for me?
uh, no, that's kind of all what I had. So, like, I mean, unless you got something else, like, it's been an awesome conversation. We can keep it going, I think there's been so much shared already. It's phenomenal.
I think we're good, man. Thank you for having me on the show, man. Keep up the great work, and keep me posted when you chop it up, make some clips, and post some stuff.
Definitely will. And before I let you go, for anybody that's listening and wants to kind of follow and connect with you, where's the best place they can find you?
Astro J Forte on Instagram. You can check out my music at J Forte, Jforte. No spaces. Don't put a space between J and Forte. That's some other dude trying to be like me. Listen, you can't be me. They hate us because they ain't us.
Amen to that.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you guys. Nathan, keep it up, bro. Everybody listening to this, share this with like 3 friends. And then
Let's do
share it with 3 more friends.
it.
And then post it. And then tag me and Nathan.
Let's do
And
it.
don't stop until you do it.
Let's make this my most viral
Let's make
episode
this
yet.
is the most viral one. Let's go. We going
Let's
to the
go.
moon,
It already
baby.
is. Oh, yeah. We're taking it. Awesome. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate it. We'll see
Peace.
you next time. See ya.
Yeah.